there is no way to verify that that person is legally carrying that gun. And so this is increasingly of a concern. And as far as public safety goes, having guns in any situation does one thing. It increases the chances that a gun will be discharged and used. And one of the things, if the gun is not present, there is zero chance that there will be gunfire. And there are many organizations that will tell you, having lost children in crossfires, having pulled into a park to pick up one child and have bullets fly in a situation, that why increase the risk for something unintended like that happening? And bringing a gun into any public situation does one thing. It increases the potential and the risk for that situation to occur.
Mr. Chang.
I'd just like to address what Assemblywoman Saldana had just said. Basically, there's been much research in referee journals, peer-reviewed academic research studies that has clearly shown that the more you have, the more lawfully armed citizens you have in society, the lower the violent crime rate is in society. So you're not going to have a situation where, a gun being in a potential violent crime is going to escalate the situation. For instance, if you see an openly armed individual, if you're a criminal, by common sense, you're going to take a look at that person and say, that person is probably a hard target. Maybe I should go ahead and move on to a softer target, rather than trying to escalate the situation by potentially getting hurt and having to end up in a hospital. And the whole concept is been explored extensively in many, many researched, thoroughly researched academic research journals.
All right. Ms. Onson?
The Brady campaign has documented the rise in the open carry movement and correlates it with the election of our first African-American president, the rise of an anti-government backlash to his election, a rise in militias and hate groups, and also in domestic terrorism. So the NRA seeks to normalize the carrying of weapons. They want people to think it's normal to take your gun to church, to take it to the grocery store. They want you to be able to take your gun to school, everywhere you go. And that is the ultimate agenda, and the ultimate agenda is to carry loaded guns, anytime, any place, anywhere.
A reminder, you're listening to the Commonwealth Club of California radio program. Today we're talking about the growing debate about the right to openly carry guns in public and the laws that already allow this in communities in California as well as across the country. Our panelists are Adnan Shahab, Republican candidate for State Assembly and open carry advocate; Karen Arnson, California Chapter Services Coordinator for the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence; Chang, Press Secretary for the Responsible Citizens of California; and Lori Saldana, California State Assembly member and author of AB 1934. Two related questions for the two gentlemen on the panel. Have you personally been in a situation where your gun has protected or saved your life, and are you afraid to be out in public without a gun? Why are you carrying guns in communities like Lafayette? Are there places you would go where you would feel safe enough not to carry a gun? Mr. Chang?
We actually carry guns at all of our open carry events in many, many different locations throughout the Bay Area. Lafayette was a location that we openly carried here as part of the Responsible Citizens of California here just this past weekend. But open carry groups have been demonstrating, for instance, in Vallejo, off of on the beach off of Sacramento or San Francisco. There's been many, many instances where we have been not just to higher income areas such as Walnut Creek and Lafayette, but also to some of the lower income areas. As far as me carrying a gun every day, the city where I live in Dublin, there's a lot of school zones. So actually, whenever I go and have to go and run errands and whatnot, unfortunately, I'm forced not to carry it in many instances because I would literally have to lock away my gun in my car, every other block. So it would be completely pointless for me to do so. But in other cities where school zones are not quite as prevalent, then yeah, I do carry quite frequently. And I mean, there are certain instances where I would feel that not carrying would be okay, but that is an individual right. It's an individual right established by the U.S. Supreme Court through the Heller decision, and that's for every single person to exercise for themselves.
Mr. Shahab, briefly.
Luckily, I've never been the victim of violent crime, and God forbid I never will. But at the same time, we don't get to choose when we want to become victims. Violent crime can happen at any moment, and we need to have the tools available, or we should at least have the choice to have the tools available at our disposal to be able to protect ourselves with if we do ever become, threatened violently. As to where I carry, I live in the city of Fremont. I'm going to continue to carry where I normally go. This, like I said earlier, the open carry, what we do, it's not about demonstrating. It's about being able to go about your daily business and have a tool at your disposal for if your life is ever put in danger. So I'm going to continue to open carry wherever I go, and if I continue to go to what you guys consider to be high affluent areas, fine. If I happen to go to East Palo Alto, that's fine too. I'm not going to decide where I go and where I open carry based on, the people there. I'm going about my daily business, living my life, and I just want that tool available to me.
Ms. Arnson.
I just want to back up to something that Chow said. The Second Amendment does not confer a right to openly carry a firearm in public. The Second Amendment gives somebody the right to have a gun in the home for self-protection. We look at taking a gun into public in the same way that we do the secondhand smoke issue. You have the right to smoke a cigarette, put your own health at risk, but there are laws saying now that you don't have a right to smoke your cigarette in a restaurant, or sometimes now even in public parks and all over the place. That is because, can you guarantee that you're going to give somebody cancer with your secondhand smoke? No. But just because there's a risk, a health risk involved for them getting it, can we guarantee that one of these gentlemen will accidentally shoot somebody, or there'll be an accident? No. But there's enough evidence that there are risks of accidental shootings with guns, accidents happening, somebody grabbing your gun, to know that by bringing your gun to the restaurant, bringing your gun to the public park where our children are playing, you are extending that risk, that personal risk, out to society and out to the community. So just like the secondhand smoke issue, if you feel that you're safer with a gun in your home, that's fine. But don't put our families at risk by bringing a gun out into the public.
Mr. Chang, briefly.
I'd like to quote verbatim what the Heller versus District of Columbia majority decision is. Quote, putting all of these textual elements together, we find that they guarantee the individual right to possess and carry weapons in case of confrontation. This meaning is strongly confirmed by the historical background of the Second Amendment. We look to this because it has always been widely understood that the Second Amendment, like the First and Fourth Amendments, codified a pre-existing right. The very text of the Second Amendment implicitly recognizes the pre-existence of the right and declares only that it shall not be infringed.